Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Dee. Today I hope to make this a short video because we have a really busy week. And so I am going to try out a new technique that I just learned about. So stay tuned, hang on. Okay, are you ready to try a different technique? I am going to be trying out a technique I saw done by Wendy Lee, and I've mentioned her name before. I've done a few things, suggestions that she made, and so we're going to try a technique that she showed just the other day. And so let me get out my embossing folder, not my embossing folder, my Big Shot, Sizzix Big Shot, and we're going to do some die cutting. So let me get this out, and I may need to adjust the, okay, let's do this maybe. Unfortunately, you'll see some mess over here, and I apologize for that. All right, now, I've been wanting to get some butterfly dies because I've not had any ever. And so I bought these actually from Amazon. It came as a set like this, and I left these two attached, and this one I cut apart. So we are going to try a technique using these butterfly dies. And one thing about dies is if they are kind of intricate, like this butterfly is probably the most intricate out of the three, and what that means is sometimes they don't cut well. And so Wendy suggested something that I'm going to try and see how it works. So I have my dies here, and I have 3 different kinds of cardstock. This is like a good solid weight. Probably it's, I don't know, 300 GSM or something, because it's good. This is like a flimsy cardstock, and actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it has kind of a linen texture on one side, and the other side is more smooth. And this is pretty flimsy. It's really lightweight cardstock. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by and the other star of the show is bubble wrap. You're gonna say, Dee, what is bubble wrap doing in your video? Well, you're gonna find out very soon. Okay, so let's try. I probably should have cut this in half, so I'm just gonna do a rough little tear here, and because the width of it would not go through my regular size Big Shot. So let's just do that. Okay, so I have my lightest weight paper, and we're going to use our big butterfly die, and I'm going to run it through the Big Shot without any help. The bubble wrap will be an assist, okay, an assistant. So let's just do this, and we'll see how it turned out. I'm going to flip it over like this. Now because this is pretty lightweight paper, it cut pretty well. Okay, so we have a nice little butterfly that we can attach as a decoration, and it's lovely. You can kind of push out the wings a little bit, make it look a little like it's in flight, or moving just a little bit, but that's lovely, isn't it? Okay, now let's try this mid-weight. We're just going to run it through, like I said, and we'll see how it cuts. Now we're getting to a cardstock that is easy enough to cut through, but maybe, oh, look at that. It didn't quite cut. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right. So let's scooch this little guy out. And we have this lovely yellow butterfly. Now, the only thing that didn't happen was these little tiny things that are part of the design of the butterfly didn't come out. So, and look, there's a little purple one left over. So all you have to do is just poke these out. But, you know, that's workable. And now we are going to try this heavier weight cardstock. I would say, like I said, it's more of a cardstock I would use for making a card base. So this one will be here. And we're going to try cutting it through, die cutting it, I should say. And see how that went. Okay. Now, this seemed to cut. I think it cut pretty well too. Let's get this out. If you could see my face, you'd be glad you're not looking at it. Because after I started filming, I have lots of sweat running down my face. Because it's 87 in the craft room, and that's with air conditioning. But by the way, I mentioned in a video quite a while ago that we were looking into getting a different type of air conditioning installed. And it's supposed to be happening, like, hopefully within the next week or two. So, I'm all excited about that. Now, okay, take a look here. These little dots, there's only one that came out. Now, like I said, with a pokey tool, you can make fairly quick work with that. Okay, now we're going to get a different weight of cardstock, and we'll do it again. So, hang on. Okay, I have a scrap of watercolor paper, and I thought we'd try this technique with this. So let's get this big butterfly die out, and you know what? I don't know if you can tell, but the little particles that didn't come out are still stuck in the die. So I'm just going to take a second and poke at least some of these out, because I don't want the paper that's stuck in there to affect the die cutting and not allow it to be a true test of the bubble wrap technique. Okay, boy, this is turning into a longer video than I thought. Like I said, we have a very busy week. So we've VBS at our church this week, and Kurt and I are teaching 2 different age groups, and so I have limited time this week to mess around in the craft room, which, you know, it's good that we're doing. We're having a good time with it once each night, but it's leaving less time for me to craft. Okay, let's run this through. All right, now, do you see? I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to get this close enough you can see. There are parts, because this is a heavier weight paper, so to speak, than what we've already used. The die has not completely cut through. So, Wendy talked about adding a layer of bubble wrap. Now for this, I'm going to leave the die side down and the paper on top. Okay, so let's do that. And I have my trusty bubble wrap here. This happens to be kind of sticky on this side, so I think I'll just put that next to my, no, you know what? I think I'll put it here, and then we'll have it stick to the plate at the top. Okay, so let's run it through. Ooh, now listen. The bubble wrap is getting popped. Okay, now you can see, obviously, that deflated because of it being run through. Now look at that. This is what I'm talking about, people. That bubble wrap made all the difference. Look how easily I can pop that out now. So, you know, with thin paper, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But if you have thicker paper or watercolor paper, and this is an example of something I did earlier. This was not watercolor paper, but boy, it did not want to cut cleanly. So I went ahead and did the bubble wrap technique for this one, and it came out easy peasy. So let's look at the little details they came out to. Look at that. Now all I would need to do is put a little watercolor on here, put a little distress oxide on here, and make a colorful butterfly. Wouldn't that be lovely? Okay, so guys, hopefully you learned a little something today. Bubble wrap is not only handy for techniques like, you know, stamping ink onto a card base or card panel, because I've used bubble wrap for that here on my channel and even on my own. And it can be used for helping die cuts run through your die cut machine more easily or more completely. We'll put it that way. Now, just a reminder, put your plate on top of it. Okay? One time I tried it with a different butterfly. I left the bubble wrap on the top like this and ran it through. It kind of got a little caught in my machine. Not so badly that I couldn't get it out, but learn from my mistake. Make sure the plate is on top. Okay, guys, let's take a look at these butterflies again. And we'll look at, oh, the loveliness. And if you want, I'll show you the other ones that I made from the other kind of paper that I did. Isn't that lovely? Oh, I think they're just so pretty. And now I can add butterflies to as embellishments to some of my cards. Okay, guys, if you haven't already, please like the video. Please share it with a friend. Please comment. I'd love to have a comment from you and engage back and forth. And if you haven't, subscribe. Why not? It's totally free. Okay, hopefully we'll see you next Saturday. Take care, guys. Bye.